Whether we like it or not, AI is here and it's not going anywhere soon. And of course, it's no longer news that a lot of students now use AI to study, to write, to research, and what have you. But here's the big question. Can AI make you fail a plagiarism test? Let's talk about it. In this video, I'll break down 3 key things. Why your thesis might fail a plagiarism test, what self-plagiarism is and why it matters, how to use ChatGPT and other AI tools ethically in your research or in your academic writing. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Mujurayo and I help students and researchers grow in academic writing, research and confidence presentation no matter your field. So if you want to stay relevant, ethical and confident in your academic writing, hit that subscribe button now. Before we talk about how plagiarism works with AI, let me paint a picture that you will not forget. Imagine you have just been invited to give a speech at an international conference. You got there, everyone was so excited, people were seated waiting for you to speak at the conference, and then you picked up your phone and pressed play. Then you played someone else's speech from start to finish. No single word from you, no acknowledgement of the person. Then the audience clapped politely, but they began to whisper among themselves. Is that even our voice? Who exactly spoke to us? That is exactly what happens when you copy a text from AI and present it as yours. You may sound polished, you may sound brilliant, you will sound artificial, but deep down, you know that is not your voice, and that is not academic. Academic integrity is not just about avoiding plagiarism. It is learning how to express your own understanding even when others inspire your ideas. That is what makes your research authentic. Now, let's go to why thesis fail plagiarism checks. You know, most students often think that plagiarism only happens when you don't cite sources. If you have watched my video on how to avoid plagiarism in your thesis writing, then you understand this better. You know, so they overload their chapters with several references, with several quotations here and there, thinking that will make them safe and that will make them avoid plagiarism. It doesn't work like that. You know why? Because of your shallow paraphrasing, sometimes because of the several quotes in your work, just quotations marked everywhere. You did not really say anything. Just what other people have said, and that is all about your work. Your work will still get flagged for plagiarism because you are lifting someone else's work, and because you think you're acknowledging them by citing them, that is not plagiarism. I'm here to tell you that it is plagiarism and you're wrong. So if you don't paraphrase at all, or you did a shallow paraphrasing, if you overquoted in your research, if you lack analysis, you did not analyze, you did not review other people's work, you just lifted it like that. I've mentioned that before. And yes, if you self-plagiarize, that is, if you use your own work. For instance, you wrote something on governorship election in Edo State, and because you are writing something a little bit similar, or you just needed something from that thesis or that write-up or that article or that book that you wrote in the past, and because you think it's your work, you should not reference yourself, you will still fall for plagiarism, and that is what is categorized as self-plagiarism. Many students don't even know that this self-plagiarism is a thing, but universities take it seriously. So it's not just about citing or not citing others, it's also giving credit to your previous self when you reuse your own work, because every submission is treated as a new original work. So don't self-plagiarize. Now to the question, is using ChatGPT or other AI tools plagiarism? The shortest answer I can give to that is it depends on how you use it. There is no straight answer. There is no yes, there is no no. The fact that you use ChatGPT or other AI tools does not mean that you are plagiarized. It could be that you used them as assistants, because they're actually assistants. They should not own your work. Like I said, it depends on how you use it. So if you present someone else's work, or something, in this case, something else's work as yours without acknowledging them, that is plagiarism. But if you use AI as a support tool, you know, for brainstorming, for organizing your thoughts, for checking the grammar, that is completely fine. The difference is authorship and originality. Now let's talk about ChatGPT and AI detection. Do you know that universities no longer use only plagiarism checkers? They now combine them with AI detectors. Turnitin, for instance, can flag both copied text and AI generated writing, which means that if you copy and paste from AI, your work will not only be flagged for plagiarism, but will also be flagged for over-reliance on artificial intelligence. Now, when I say ChatGPT, I don't mean only ChatGPT, I mean other AI tools, but I decided to use ChatGPT because it is commonly used by a lot of students. You have other AI tools like Thesis, like Skyspace, like Scholarcy, like consensus, like semantic scholar, like Kenios, and the like. ChatGPT does not copy from only one source. It generates text based on patterns from existing sources or existing materials. That means that some of its sentences can resemble existing materials online checked by software like Turnitin. So yes, your AI written text can trigger similarity match. Now, there is something I need you to know. Plagiarism is not just about copying. It is about misrepresentation. It's about honesty in authorship. If you did not write the work yourself and you still did not acknowledge it, that is plagiarism. And I feel like as researchers, we really need to do better. What is worth doing is what's doing well. So whatever it is we want to do, if we want to do any research, we have to do due diligence. If you are using any AI tool, use it and use it well. So that takes us to the next thing. 3 smart ways to use AI tools ethically and safely. Number 1, use it as a learning companion and not a ghostwriter. Okay, for instance, you can tell any AI tool to explain a theory, summarize a concept, suggest some structure ideas.
So after ChatGPT has explained the theory, summarized the concepts, and what have you, then you can now write your own version in your own voice. Number 2, always review. Never copy and paste ChatGPT directly in your assignments, in your articles, in your thesis, in your book. Always read, understand, and then rewrite in your own words. That is what makes the write-up truly yours, and it also reduces similarity score. Number 3, always run your work through plagiarism test before submission. When you now run your work through plagiarism check and you fail the plagiarism check, no need to worry. All you need to do is to just go back and make sure that those sections flagged for plagiarism, just rephrase them, and that will be all. So rather than submitting your work for it to be returned to you because of plagiarism, always check it yourself before submission. Every university has their own percentage of originality and similarity. So if, for instance, your own university requires 80% originality, which means 20% similarity. What do I mean by that? 80% of your work will come from you and 20% can come from outside sources. So if that's the case, that means that if your originality is 79% or 60%, the write-ups that came from you, your own work, that means that you have failed the test. All you need to do is that, so that the remaining 10% can match up, do what? Just rephrase all those sections that are flagged. The good thing about doing it yourself is that you can always see those sections flagged and rephrase yourself. But if you give your university like that, you submit it like that to your department and notice the plagiarism, the problem is that they may not give you the breakdown. You may not be able to see those sections flagged. They'll just tell you to go back and rewrite your work, and that makes it very difficult for you to do. So all you need to do is that make sure you do your plagiarism test yourself. If you need help concerning that, you can reach out to us on learnwithdrmojorayo@gmail.com. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we help students to grow in academic writing, research, and confidence presentation, no matter your field. So if you have any problem concerning your work, if you are stuck in your research, just reach out to us on learnwithdrmojorayo@gmail.com. It will be on the screen. It will also be in the description box. So let's go deeper on self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism is using your own assignments or sections from your previous work without acknowledging them, even though you wrote them yourself. Universities treat every submission as new and original work. So if you use your old work, it can be counted as recycling and still get flagged. So if you must reuse part of your old work, make sure you acknowledge, make sure you cite. If you have not watched my video on how to avoid plagiarism in your academic writing, 3 simple steps, make sure you go back now and watch that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your research friends. You might just save someone from plagiarism disaster. And you can also follow us on our social media platforms. Learn with Dr. Mojorayo on Instagram, Learn with Dr. Mojorayo on Facebook. I am Dr. Mojorayo. Stay ethical, stay original, and keep writing with confidence. See you in my next video. Bye.